What's going on, YouTube? Blue balls. Trying to get a head start early. I'm working on these videos, and I'm actually on my way to go get some feeders for the day, well, for the actual month, but I'll explain that in a little bit. So I'm driving on my way to Family Reptiles in Lakeland, Florida, and yeah, holla. Alright guys, so I'm leaving Family Reptiles now. I got my feeders, quick transaction, I'm back on the road. I figured I'd do a little bit of story time before I hit the highway, or on my way to the highway, because I don't want to play with my phone. Family Reptiles, they're actually where I got my big girl from. Where were we? Day 2, right? Right before I picked up Tilly, which was my last video. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Anyway, so right before I went and picked up Tilly, I mean, I had walked around and I'd seen her already, but I had stopped by because I was doing some networking and checking into who was in the neighborhood, right? Because I want to see all the locals, and I just want to see who I'm going to be working with, because of course I keep reptiles, and if I'm going to be getting more, I would rather be dealing with something local, somewhere I can go pick them up, see the reptiles, be able to handle them, be able to talk to somebody personally. And this is only like an hour away from my home, so I figured pretty cool. So I talked to the guy. I'm sitting there having a conversation with him. Like I said, day 2, Kissimmee Repticon. All right, so I'm sitting, I'm there having a conversation. I see a tank that he's holding. They're big girls. At this point, I need a big girl. I picked up Tilly after this girl here. But yeah, I'm looking for a breeder female, and the owner's wife, I believe, she gave me the phone number. Or like, look, after this show, we're gonna be going through our inventory right before breeding season, and there's some big girls that we have that we might not be using. So I was like, cool. Took the business card, took the personal cell phone number, you know. But while I was at the show, I was talking to one of the managers or something like this, and they had this tank, and the tank was marked Harlequin. Never really looked into it, but I've heard of Harlequin Ball Pythons. It's kind of one of those things that not too many people know about, not too many people work with, because there's a lot of ifs about the morph. And I kind of was looking around and I saw them. They were really nice. They didn't look normal. They kind of looked like really cool looking normals, as if they were yellow bellies or something. And there were 3 in the tank, I believe. One of them was my big girl that I have now. The other one was a Harlequin yellow belly, and you can tell colors were a little different, markings were a little different, obvious yellow belly. But this one was marked as a Harlequin, and he said possible yellow belly. Now, the conversation I was having with him was something along the lines of, they were working on the Harlequin project to try to figure some stuff out, but they're moving past it, and they didn't want to hold back any of the big girls that weren't going to be used. They were liquidating. They were getting rid of whatever wasn't producing. So I didn't ask too many questions. I mean, I asked a lot of questions. We had a conversation. He wanted to sell them for, I think it was like 120 bucks, right? And these are big girls. These are like 1400 gram females. And I was like, look, I don't really know what these are, and I'm not gonna pay that price and end up with a normal. Like, I started looking into it and realized I didn't know what I was doing there. This would have actually had to have been a personal project just for fun, or just to get it, at the very worst case scenario, I paid a lot of money for a normal, and at least it produces some cool, some pastels for me, right? Let's say that. So I was like, okay, best case scenario, she's Harlequin wide stripe, and she actually proves out to be yellow belly, which would be really cool. But I didn't know, and I'm just learning how to get into breeding and stuff. So it's a whole big ordeal that I wouldn't figure out until I'm neck deep in it, and I have to ask for help. So I talked him down. I was like, I need the big girl anyway. Like I said, a worst case scenario, I got a really cool looking normal. So I talked him down, and I was like, I'll give you 50 bucks for her right now. Put her in a bag, and I'll take her with me. And he was like, all right, I can deal with that. We got to get rid of these. I really don't want to take these big tanks full of snakes home, so I'll give it to you 50 bucks. Put her in a bag. Of course, I checked them. I checked her because I was looking at both of them, actually. But I checked them, and I made sure that they weren't sick, made sure that they weren't full of bugs, and it kept it moving. Put her in a bag, kept going. And then literally right after that, I walked over to the next table and I picked up Tilly. It just became a project of mine. I started looking into it a lot more, and I really like the possibilities that a Harlequin wide stripe could prove out to be. And if she proves out to be yellow belly, which I'm kind of leaning towards now that I see how big she's getting and her colors are setting in properly, and I'm just starting to pay attention and understand what different colors and morphs actually look like mixed together and on their own. So hopefully she proves out either way, but if not, then I got a really cool breeder female normal for 50 bucks. What the hell? But yeah, I go to them on a regular basis, once a month probably. I pick up a whole bunch of feeders, and they're the only source that I know that has African soft-furred rats, and that's awesome. And so this is where I go. I mean, it's an hour drive away from home, but if I pick up enough, I only got to go there once a month, and I keep it moving. Yeah, let me show you the big girl. Once I get there, I'm about to hit the highway, and yeah. All right, so I'm back home after the trip. She was a bit of an issue at first. Like I said, I got her from them, and she was doing really good. At first, I thought that she was adjusting properly, and then I went to feed her. I realized she's not eating. I'm not sure if she had just come off of eggs, and it took her a while to adjust. I've heard that bigger ball pythons take a lot longer actually to adjust to their situation, whereas babies, you can pick them up and within a week or two they're back to their normal routines. But yeah, she was an issue from the get, and it took a little while. It took a little kind of figuring out what she was all about and how she worked, and what she liked. I had to dial in her temperatures. I had to get her tub set up right, the perfect amount of darkness. The way I have them set up, it's always dark so they don't feel like there's too much movement. But it took a while. She was definitely a challenge. Let me go get her. So this is my big girl. Her name is Harleen. She's a Harlequin, as she was mentioned. And I don't know how many of you guys know your nerd, but Harleen is Harlequin's first name, Harleen Quinzel. So I figured it was a kind of a cool name, because I was going to call her Harley all the time anyway. But when I first got her, she was about 1,400 grams when I checked her, and she was floating barely over 1,400 grams, and she was not eating. The only time she ate was like a month and a half after I got her, where I gave her a mouse and she ate it, and then she wouldn't eat anything else. Everything I put in there, she was always shying away from, so I was trying to figure out maybe they had her something on a strict kind of diet, or maybe she just wasn't eating at the moment. She took a little while to get to the understanding of. So I read a few tricks. They said give her a mouse appetizer and then throw in a rat, and they'll usually go for it because they're bigger and they get hungry really quickly. But yeah, I finally got her, and now she eats like a beast, like a freaking beast. And I don't know if maybe it was after I introduced Ace to her, but she will eat 2-3 rats, medium size, at a time. Put them in, let her put it down, put another one in, she'll take that one, put it down, put another one in, she'll take that one too. And sometimes I even think she might take a fourth. Hey, sweetheart. Sometimes I think she might even take a fourth. I want to give her some time to adjust. I give her 2-3 days in between, and then I'll see if she's looking for one. I'll go in front of the cage, in front of her tub, and if I wave my hand in front of the tub and she follows it like she's looking for it, I'll put something in with her, and she usually takes it right away. Since she started back on food, she's an absolute beast. I don't take enjoyment of watching animals die. She doesn't eat anything but live, which is a little difficult because I don't want her to get hurt with the bigger rats that are trying to fight back. But I've seen her do some really crazy stuff to get her kill. She's definitely something that kind of freaks me out sometimes about it, but I let her do her thing. And when I mean crazy stuff, like I've seen her not even strike. I've seen her straight take her body and lock on top of the rodent. Or I've seen her grab it and flip it and dip it, like dunk its head inside her water bowl. She's crazy. So she definitely lives up to her Harlequin name. But I think she's doing good. She's definitely found her perfect zone and where she likes it, and she's sticking to it. Now, since I've gotten her, like I said, when I first got her, first few months, she was floating. I introduced Ace. She eats like a beast, and now she's up somewhere around 1,800, almost 1,900 grams. Last time I weighed her, she's absolutely huge right now. Say hello. Say hello to the people, Harleen. She's my big girl. She's a hisser. She's all attitude. She didn't like being touched or anywhere near anything. But now she's all right. She gets used to it. She lets me handle her. I try not to do it too much because I think she's building follicles. I don't really think she has any eggs in her. But you can see she's a big girl. Alright, so Harlequin Ball Pythons are a little weird. Their patterns, I don't know if you see it, I think some people call them earthworms on their backs, because you can see the eyeball over here, and you see the patterns on the side. They're more like keyholes, and they're a lot different than what a normal would look like. And if you could see her color, this is natural lighting. If you could see her color, it's more of a caramel type color than it is normal. She's not a cinnamon, and And because of the coloring on the sides, I'm starting to think maybe she might have some yellow belly, but I'm not really sure that might play out. That could be just the Harlequin playing its part. But yeah, this is my big girl. I love it. She's definitely a personal favorite project that I'm trying to figure out. And I hope she plays out to what I think. And if she doesn't, she's still a very, very beautiful girl that I think would be in my collection until she no longer has any life in her. Hopefully that's a very long time. I think she may be about 2, maybe 3 years old. I doubt it though. I doubt 3 years old. She may be over 2 years old though. But yeah, she's building very, very nicely. She's a really big girl. Her sheds are like 5 feet long. She's just really, really cool looking. You see the double spots in the back of her head. She's got some really, really nice coloring to her. Yeah, this is my my big girl. Like I said, I got her before Tilly, right before, like literally they were like 2 tables away from each other. I think she's gonna be something really, really cool. I've seen what a few different morphs look like with Harlequin mixed into them, and they do have the wide stripe, and I think it's really nice. I've seen some lesser Harlequin wide stripes. I think they're amazing looking. Something like a super stripe mixed with cypress, somewhere along those lines. That's kind of what a lesser Harlequin will look like. Pastel Harlequins, same thing. They do have that stripe. The coloring looks really nice. But yeah, she's definitely calmed down a lot. She was a hisser. My son is absolutely afraid of her because of her attitude. I was never afraid of her, but I was very weary of how I handled her, when I handled her. I didn't want to throw her back off food once she started eating. So I'm very careful of how I do treat her. But yeah, she's a really, really good girl now. Really, really big girl. And she doesn't have belly pattern like I've seen most Harlequins, but that could be because she might have yellow belly in her. I'm not sure. But we'll see.